So friends, today I'm going to break down a recently released fantastic Vietnamese horror film titled Spirit Whisper, The Revenant. The movie is quite gripping, filled with rich horror rituals, and the most surprising part this film reveals, not one but two major twists. It's something you'll definitely find fascinating to watch. Now, without any delay, let's dive straight into the video. The story begins by showing us a wealthy family known as the Phuc family. It's revealed that the family's only heir has gone missing. Everyone begins searching for him but can't find him anywhere. We then see the heir Gia playing near a pond when he suddenly hears someone singing. Approaching the pond, he sees his own reflection, smiling creepily. Frightened, he backs away only to turn and see a doppelganger of himself with a blurred face. Terrified, he falls into the water. A maid rushes over after hearing the sound but sees nothing and walks away. Meanwhile, Gia's wind-up mouse toy starts moving on its own until a black cat appears and snatches it. This cat doesn't seem ordinary at all. The scene changes to a yearly family ceremony held by the Phuc family. The family head, Mieu, who is also Gia's grandmother, announces she's over 60 now and will pass on the ceremony responsibility to her son, Vinh Trong, and his wife, and eventually to Gia, but she clearly has no idea what has happened to Gia, who by then has drowned. An empty chair is shown for him during the ritual. As people release floating lamps into the pond, they strangely cluster together. Suddenly Gia's body surfaces, horrifying everyone. His mother faints, and Mieu is deeply shaken. Then we cut to the funeral scene. Gia's mother is devastated, unable to accept his death. Her husband slaps her to calm her down and tells her to stay strong. Meanwhile, Mieu appears stunned but remains stoic. Later, another woman scolds Gia's mother, saying she failed to take care of her son and that such negligence won't be tolerated. She leaves for her room. Then the maid asks Mieu why she's being so harsh. Mieu sharply scolds her and sends her away. Looking outside, Mieu sees masked people carrying lamps and a cart on which Gia is seated, with the same black cat beside him. They all stare at Mieu before disappearing. The maid returns and asks what happened. Mieu points toward the window, but no one is there now. Back at the funeral, the black cat climbs onto Gia's coffin before leaping off, and then the coffin starts shaking. Everyone panics, but then silence returns. Unexpectedly, Gia wakes up and vomits. Everyone is terrified, but his parents are overjoyed to have him back. A doctor is called. He says it's a case of clinical death. Sometimes people come back to life after a few hours. Gia is declared healthy and advised to eat. Mieu sits beside Gia, talking to him, but he looks at her strangely. Still, she seems happy and goes to sleep. That night, Gia grabs his mother's hand, saying he's hungry. Meanwhile, Mieu hears Gia laughing and running outside her room, but finds no one when she checks. Then again she sees him darting outside, but when she checks Gia's room he's already sleeping there. So now there seem to be two Gias. Gia's mother puts him to bed and heads to her own room, only to be approached by the maid holding Gia's hand, saying she found him outside. Shocked, Gia's mother runs back to his room and lifts the blanket. He's gone terrified. The next day, Mieu donates rice to the poor in celebration of Gia's return, but villagers whisper that he returned cursed and brought bad luck. Meanwhile, we learn that several workers died in an accident at the family's construction site, which Gia's mother now manages. She tells everyone to keep quiet and goes for lunch. We then meet Tai, Vinh's older brother, who is mentally unstable. The maids gossip once handsome. Tai fell in love with a singer named Lee. They had an affair, and she became pregnant. The family disapproved, but said they'd accept the child if it was a boy. She gave birth to a son named Kang and began managing the construction business. But workers started dying or falling ill, and the family didn't help. Eventually, Lee and Kang died in a site accident. Tai was broken ever since. Now, a maid disguises herself as Lee and seduces Tai, but Gia's strict mother catches her and locks her in the storeroom as punishment. The maid sees Gia outside, but he ignores her. Then a demonic entity and the black cat appear. Suddenly, rats swarm the room and devour her alive. That night, Mieu hears noises and opens a wardrobe to check. Gia's mother also hears something and finds Gia's toy at her feet. Checking on him, he's there. Mieu sees nothing inside the wardrobe until she looks up and sees Gia above it. Screaming in terror, Gia's mother then finds the maid dead, eaten by rats. Gia runs off. She chases him but can't find him. Villagers help search and eventually find him sitting on a grave. Vinh and Mieu arrive. Vinh picks Gia up and sees wounds on his chest, crawling with worms, disgusting and gruesome. Everyone is shaken. They call a shaman who reveals that an evil spirit has long resided in the house, causing all the deaths, and that Gia has become its host. To save him, a dangerous full moon ritual must be performed, possibly costing Gia life. The shaman says the demon rose only after Gia died and may have been responsible for bringing him back. Gia's mother breaks down, telling Vinh she doesn't know what to do. Then, an elder maid shares a similar story from her hometown. A woman died, but a black cat sat on her coffin, and she revived, but soon she became dangerous, roaming at night, eating neighbors' chickens, and her body stank like decay, with worms crawling on her. They called a master who performed a safe ritual that saved her. Gia's mother asks for the master's address. Elsewhere, the demon kills another maid, witnessed by Tai, who is deeply shaken. Gia's mother and Vin reach the master's home, only to find he's dead perhaps after performing the previous ritual. Disheartened, she begs for help. A servant gives her a book that may help. They return, but Mieu has already arranged the dangerous ritual. Gia's mother and Vin try to stop her, saying they have a safer method, but Mieu refuses. A heated argument erupts. Mieu blames Gia's mother for everything, and now, the real truth is revealed. During the argument, Gia's mother finally reveals the shocking truth. Gia is not their biological son. She confesses she had multiple miscarriages and couldn't conceive again. In desperation, she secretly adopted Gia from a poor couple and raised him as her own. Mieu is stunned to hear this. Gia's mother insists she's willing to give her life to save him. The shaman ritual begins. Jaya is laid down in the middle, candles lit around him. The ritual involves harsh chants, incantations, offering of items that burn into ash. During this, Gia starts screaming, behaving strangely. Then suddenly, Gia vanishes from the ritual circle. Everyone panics. The shaman says the demon has taken him. Gia's mother, overwhelmed, collapses. Elsewhere, we see Gia at the pond where he originally drowned. He is being called by the demon voice. He walks toward the water's edge. Suddenly, the same black cat appears behind him. Gia turns, starts running. He ends up back at home. Vin sees him, grabs him tightly. But Gia starts laughing menacingly, his eyes glow. Vin realizes something is wrong. Gia opens his mouth unnaturally wide, vomits black sludge on him. Meanwhile, Mieu sees a vision of the past. She remembers how long ago she had committed a dark sin. A servant girl was pregnant with her son's child. Fearing shame, Mieu ordered the girl be locked up. She was later taken to the construction site and buried alive beneath the foundation. Mieu wanted to hide the scandal. Back in the present, Tai uncovers a hidden photo of the servant girl Lee. He sees her ghost watching him from the corner. Terrified, he runs. Meanwhile, Gia's mother consults the book she received earlier. It describes how a spirit possessing a body can be expelled using a specific ritual at the place of death. Using the belongings of the deceased, Gia's mother gathers Gia's toy, his clothes, prepares for the ritual. She heads to the pond at midnight. There, she performs the steps alone, placing the toy, sprinkling holy water, reciting verses. Suddenly, fog thickens. The black cat emerges again. Then Gia appears, his face twisted. Laughing, he says he is no longer Gia. Gia charges toward his mother, grabs her neck. She begs him to fight the spirit, to remember her. For a moment Gia's face softens, but then the demon regains control, throws her into the pond. But at that moment, Mieu arrives. Realizing her sins led to this, she kneels, apologizes to the spirit for what she did years ago. She slits her wrist as an offering, letting her blood fall into the water. The demon appears as a grotesque version of Gia, then slowly fades away. The water calms. Gia is found floating unconscious. He is pulled out. Days later, we see the family has relocated to a smaller home. Gia, now fully recovered, plays outside. His mother watches him with a smile. Mez's photo is seen beside an incense stick, suggesting she passed away. But in the final scene, the black cat is seen watching Jaya. From Aphrodite's eyes glowing faintly, fade to black. The scene then shifts to a quiet evening in the new house. Gia is drawing something on the floor using chalk. His mother watches, curious. She asks what he's making, but Gia just smiles, says it's a secret. That night, Gia has a nightmare. He sees the same masked figures again, surrounding him, whispering something in an ancient tongue. He wakes up screaming. His mother rushes in, tries to comfort him, but he seems dazed, distant. Later, Gia's mother decides to destroy the old toy mouse that had returned with him after he came back. She burns it in the backyard. As it melts, strange cries echo faintly through the trees. Meanwhile, Vin finds an old diary belonging to Mieu. Inside, he reads about the forbidden rituals their family had kept secret for generations. One entry reveals that the Fook family had once made a pact with a forest spirit to gain wealth, protection, but at a price. It demanded the soul of a male child every 60 years. Vin realizes Gia's return may be tied to this forgotten pact. He confronts Gia's mother, tells her about the diary, says Gia might be the chosen offering of this generation. She refuses to believe it, but he insists. The curse must be broken permanently, or Gia will be taken. That night, Gia once again disappears from his bed. His mother searches the house, finds him in the hallway, staring at a mirror. In the reflection, his face is not his own, it's distorted, covered in scars. She quickly pulls him away. That next day, they visit a spiritual temple deep in the forest, seeking help from a blind priestess known for dealing with ancestral curses. She listens calmly, then says the spirit tied to Gia is ancient, angry, not the kind that can be banished easily. It feeds on guilt, secrecy. She hands Gia's mother a charm wrapped in red cloth, tells her to keep it under Gia's pillow. Night, Gia sleeps soundly. But outside, we see the black cat prowling again. This time, it steps into the house. silently enters Gia's room. Suddenly, Gia opens his eyes, now glowing. Cut to black. Next morning, Gia appears normal again. He hugs his mother, tells her he had a good dream. She feels relief, but remains cautious. Meanwhile, Vin consults an old monk who once knew me. The monk warns that the spirit won't stop until the debt is paid or its remains are found and honored. Back at home, Gia starts drawing disturbing images, figures hanging from trees, a woman crying blood, a burning house. His mother asks where he saw these. He just says, "She showed me." That evening, Tai finds Gia talking to someone in the dark corner of the hallway. No one else is there. Gia turns, says, she's angry. Tai becomes convinced the spirit is communicating through Gia. He decides to dig near the old property, where Mieu once lived, hoping to find the buried servant girl's body. With a few workers, he searches the ground. After hours of digging, they uncover old bones wrapped in cloth. The workers panic, refuse to continue. Tai places the remains in a sacred urn, takes them to the temple. The blind priestess blesses them, says the soul must be freed with fire, incense, confession. Tai records a video message confessing the family's sins, apologizing to the spirit. He places the phone beside the urn, sets it all aflame. Back home, Gia suddenly convulses, faints. His mother rushes to him. At the same time, smoke rises from the urn. In the fire, a figure forms, the ghost of Lee, the servant girl. She looks calm, no longer vengeful. The wind howls, then silence. Gia wakes up. He says, "I saw her. She's gone now." Days pass. The family begins returning to normal life. Gia sleeps peacefully. No more nightmares. No more strange drawings. The black cat is never seen again. But in the final shot, as Gia plays outside, he picks up a small toy mouse, the same one his mother had burned. He smiles. After the toy mouse reappears, Gia's mother becomes uneasy again. She checks the backyard where she burned it, finds no trace of ashes. That night, Gia speaks in his sleep words from an unknown dialect, voice deep, not his own. She records it, sends it to the temple priestess. The next day, the priestess replies, the voice isn't human. It belongs to a spirit older than the curse, something darker, something buried before even Mez time. The mouse is its tether, a vessel used in many ancient rituals to bind wandering souls. Destroying it on its own does nothing. Vin starts noticing strange symbols on the walls of the house drawn faintly in charcoal, some resembling ritualistic markings from the old diary. He suspects Gia may be drawing them unknowingly during sleep. He sets up cameras. That night, the footage shows Gia waking, eyes open but vacant. He walks to the wall, begins marking in total silence. Next morning, they show the footage to the priestess. She confirms possession still lingers. The first spirit Lee was freed, but another entered the child during the first ritual gone wrong, one that thrives on broken rituals. A shadow parasite. The only way to remove it, perform a complete reversal of the first ritual. Return the child to the pond at the exact lunar hour he died. Recite the separation chant backward. The risk if even one step is missed, the child could die. As the moon phase approaches, the family prepares. Gia grows weaker by the day. He barely speaks, avoids sunlight, refuses to eat. His skin becomes pale, veins darken. At night, he just stares out the window, whispering. Finally, the night arrives. The family takes Gia to the pond. They mark the perimeter with salt, oil, sacred threads. The priestess begins chanting. Gia stands at the center. Slowly, the wind rises. Water ripples violently. Then, from the woods, black figures appear, shadowy, cloaked. They circle the ritual space. Gia screams. The priestess tells his mother to keep chanting no matter what. One of the shadow figures crosses the salt barrier. Tai throws holy powder. It dissipates. Gia collapses. His mother runs to him, holds him close. She whispers, "You're stronger than this. Come back to me." Gia's eyes roll back. He lets out a deep roar. The water in the pond explodes upward. The pond water crashes down, soaking everyone. Gia lies motionless in the circle. His mother begs the priestess to save him. The priestess hands her a blade carved from bone, says the final step must be done by blood. Only the mother's sacrifice can sever the bond. Trembling, Gia's mother cuts her palm, lets blood drip onto his forehead. The priestess chants faster. The black figures shriek, dissolve into ash. The water starts spinning in a whirlpool. A low voice echoes from its center calling, Gaia. Suddenly, Gaia gasps. His body lifts into the air, eyes glowing. He speaks in two voices at once, one innocent, one demonic. The spirit fights to stay. Gia's body twists unnaturally, then drops. Silence. The priestess approaches, places her hand on Gia's chest. No pulse. His mother sobs, clutches him tight, begs him to wake up. Then Gia coughs. His eyes flutter open. He whispers, "It's gone." Everyone watches in disbelief. The priestess nods. The ritual worked. Later, we see the family burning all items linked to the spirit: clothes, drawings, toys. The pond is sealed off with sacred markers. Gia slowly regains strength. He smiles again, plays without fear. But the trauma remains. In his mother's eyes, she visits the temple, thanks the priestess. As a final offering, she donates Mez's journal, the cursed diary. The priestess warns, no knowledge of darkness ever disappears. It waits. In the last scene, Jaya sleeps peacefully. Outside, the wind rustles the trees. In the distance, deep in the forest, a pair of glowing eyes watch silently. Days pass. Peace returns to the village. The family moves to a new town, hoping for a fresh start. Jia begins school again. He makes friends, laughs freely. His mother starts painting, channeling her pain onto canvas. Vin stays behind to guard the pond site. He builds a shrine there, lights incense daily. The priestess visits often. Together they ensure no one disturbs the sealed ground. They bury the last remnants of Mez's belongings beneath the roots of an old tree. One evening, Jia's mother receives a package with no return address. Inside, a charcoal sketch of Jia, asleep. The lines are rough, but the likeness is perfect. On the back, a single phrase, he still listens. Disturbed, she rushes to check on Jia. He's sleeping, peacefully. She tucks the drawing away, tells no one. Meanwhile, in a different village, another child begins to act strangely. He draws symbols matching those Jia once drew. He whispers at night. His parents think it's imagination. In a final voiceover, the priestess says, spirits never die, they drift. Wait. Choose new vessels when called. Fear brings them back. So does silence. We end on an image of the toy mouse half burned, half new lying beside the unknown child's bed. His eyes, open,